Hey guys, welcome to 1.5 Solving Inequalities. Our essential question today is how do you solve and graph basic and compound inequalities? Remember, inequalities are greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. So we're not necessarily going to have an equal sign here. Although this warm-up problem here, we do have an equal sign. You want to download some new songs on your MP3 player, which is kind of obsolete nowadays, right? Because not too many people have an MP3 player anymore, but each song will use about 4.3 megabytes of megabytes of space. The amount of storage space on your MP3 player is shown at the right. It's 7.8 gigabytes, and we need to figure out at most how many songs can you download. And for example, 1 gigabyte equals 1,000 megabytes. Okay, so our first step would probably be turning gigabytes into megabytes, because that's what we're working with here with the 4.3 megabytes, right? So first we need to convert 7.8 gigabytes. We need to convert that into megabytes. Now if there's 1 megabyte is 1,000 megabytes, then we can kind of set it up. So 1,000 megabytes compared to 1 gigabyte. And actually this should have a gigabyte on it too, because 7.8 gigs. Okay. Now our labels can actually, the reason I drew the labels is because they can actually cancel out. And we're left with, if we multiply this by 1,000, right, we multiply across, we get 7,800 megabytes. Okay, so that's how much storage space we have, and then each song is 4.3, so we're going to divide by 4.3, that's per song, and so then we end up with, because it's 4.3 megabytes here, right, for each song, our labels actually cancel again. Not a huge deal, but just making you aware that does exist. And so when we do 7,800 divided by 4.3, we get 1813, so 1,813.95. So what does this mean in practicality? You can't have 0.95 of a song, right? And so how many songs can we fit on this thing? 1,813 songs. All right. Now inequalities. When we start out with inequalities, I always think of it as the alligator, eats the bigger number, right? Or Pac-Man. If we have Pac-Man, he eats the bigger number, right? So we're going to put a dot at 4. And now, since we don't have a bar underneath, okay, just greater than and just less than, those are open dots. Okay, so we're going to put an open dot at 4 because it doesn't include 4. Okay, it's not equal to 4. Like down here, it's equal to 4, right? But up here, we don't have that, so it's going to be an open dot. Now, we're talking about everything bigger than or everything greater than 4. So we're going to draw our arrow this way. So it could be 4.0000001 all the way up to infinity. Okay, now x is greater than or equal to 4, and this is the difference, right? The or equal to makes it a closed dot because it could be 4, right? Greater than or equal to 4, it could include 4, and it goes all the way up to infinity. Okay. Now, in this one, Pac-Man's eating the 4, so it's going to be everything less than 4, but we don't include 4, right? And so it's going to be an open dot, and everything less than that. Okay, now it's less than or equal to 4, so it can be a closed dot because it includes 4, and everything less than that. Okay, so a big thing here, just remember open and closed dots with equal to. Alright, so let's write the inequality that matches the sentence x is less than or equal to 5. You can literally translate it as it's written. X is less than or equal to 5. Okay, the sum of x and 4 is greater than 2. Okay, sum means add, right? So x plus 4 is greater than, remember that Pac-Man needs the bigger number, 2. Okay, the next one, the quotient of x and 7, the quotient would be dividing, x divided by 7, is at least 10. Okay, now think about this for a second. If it's at least 10, it could be 10. Okay? And at least, if you have at least $3 in your wallet, you could have more, right? And so it's going to be greater than or equal to. Okay, be careful with at least. That actually means greater than or equal to. Okay. So then vice versa. We'll get to that right here. The product of 7 and a number is no more than 50. Okay, so product means multiply. 7 and a number, we multiply them together, is no more than 50. So 50 goes on this side. Now, no more than, if you have no more than $50 in your wallet, you could have $50, but you can't have 51, right? You could have 49, you could have 2, you could have 50. You just can't have anything bigger than 50, right? And so, it has to be, this number has to be less than or equal to 50. Okay, and lastly here, 2 less than x, okay, is less than 4. Okay, well, the is less than 4, that's an easy part, right? 2 less than x. Okay, if somebody has $4 and you have $2 less than them, that would be 4 minus 2, right? And so it's going to be x minus 2 is less than 4. Okay. Gotta work a little faster here, sorry guys. Alright, the solution, we're going to graph it. Okay, so first step is to distribute, so we get 4x minus 28. We're going to solve this just like an equation. Okay, and we can keep the sign just hanging out, just like an equal sign for this purpose. So we add 28, we get 4x is greater than, 8? And so when we divide, now if we're dividing by a positive number, our sign stays the same. And we are dividing by a positive number, so we get 2, right? Okay, so x is greater than 2, so let's make our number line here. Let's call this 0, 2, and 4. Okay, it's greater than, so we're going to do an open dot, and it's greater than 2, so the arrow goes this way.